Hello. Your photo experiment for today is about aperture and the effects it has on your depth of field. Welcome to Stuff by PwC. That's me, Peter West Carey. Today we're going to be talking about the aperture in your camera as part of my 40 photo experiment series. The aperture controls your depth of field in a photo, so how many things are in focus front to back. So today's experiment, you're going to need a camera that has an adjustable aperture, such as a DSLR, a regular film camera, point and shoot, mirrorless, some drones, something that has an adjustable aperture. Your phone's probably not going to work for this. The setup for this experiment is pretty simple. Start with the table. You're going to have a couple of objects on it, but at one end you're going to have your camera. In this case I have it on a tripod, but you can set it on a stack of books, a chair, anything that'll work for you to make sure it doesn't move between photos. The first object you're going to place about 2 feet away, or 0.6 meters, from your camera. The second object is going to be 2 feet away from that object. And then lastly, if you follow me way down here, we have object number 3. It is going to be about 4 feet away from object number 2. Now let's talk about camera settings. First, set your camera to aperture priority. This is going to be the A or the AV on the top of your camera. Next, set your camera to 50 millimeters for the focal length. It doesn't need to be exact, so if you don't see the 50 on your lens, you just need to zoom in or out until you get about the same field of view that the human eye sees. Third, you're going to focus on the first object in your scene. So in this case, the pinky ball, I'm going to focus on that, and then I'm going to change it to manual focus so that the focus doesn't change between pictures. That's going to be really important on this experiment. Next, set your ISO to 400 so it doesn't change between pictures. We're only going to let the camera change the shutter speed between pictures while we control the ISO and, most importantly, the aperture. Lastly, the white balance can be set to whatever you like it to be set to. With your aperture open all the way, go ahead and take a photo. Then, change your aperture 3 clicks of the front dial. Each click is 1/3 of a stop. So by the time you're done, you'll have gone 1 full stop, letting in half as much light, but you're going to have a difference in that depth of field. Go ahead and take a picture at this setting, and then go 3 more clicks. So 1 more stop, and then 3 more, and then 3 more, taking a picture each time. All right, now that we have those photos, you probably have between 4 and 7, let's take them into a computer and take a closer look at the depth of field change between each of the full stops of aperture. Okay, I brought in 7 photos to Lightroom, and we're going to take a look at the difference in depth of field as we go through these. This is my first photo. It's at f4.0, and I'm focused on the pinky ball, but I'm going to look at the 2 other objects. In this case, a green water bottle on the left is my second subject, and about 4 feet behind that is the blue water bottle. So as I go to 5.6, f7.1, it seems my control wheel on my camera has a little bit of a flat spot and didn't make the full click that I thought it made. So instead of going from 5.6 to f8, which is the next full stop, it went from 5.6 to f7.1, which is actually 2/3 of a stop. Then it went 4/3 of a stop up to f11 as it should, then f16 and so on. Sorry about the mix-up. F11, now I can start to see some of the letters on the bottle on the left. F16, F22, I can see even more, and by F29, I can see all the way back to the Yosemite bottle. It's important to note here, though, that while more and more things came into focus, and that might seem like a good thing for landscape photography, you want a lot of things in focus often, they're not as sharp. While the f-stop goes up and up and up as far as the number, it's not going to get any sharper after a certain point. So the sharpness is important, and you're going to notice that most, probably about 4 stops in from your most open aperture. So in this case I was at f4, my 4 stops in was at about f11, 3 to 4 stops. That is about the sweet spot for this lens. So while I can get more things in focus when I go to a higher aperture, such as f29, they're not going to be as sharp. Do you have questions about this experiment? I'd love to help you learn more. So please leave a comment below and I'll be sure to respond. Also, I have a playlist called 40 Photo Experiments here on YouTube, as well as a website, 40photoexperiments.com, that is an ever-growing library of lessons and experiments to help you learn photography by doing and asking questions.